Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be building the second half of the Floor Plan Challenge Summer Mansion. And I'm also announcing a new Let's Play series that I am very excited about that will actually be taking place in this house. And I will tell you more about that when sort of the time comes when I actually came up with this idea. And that's because this house inspired my Let's Play. And the reason for that is that this house has a lot of mixing, conflicting styles throughout it. And I was wondering what kind of family would have that. You know, who would live here that would have a very modern outside, but a more classic inside. That's what I was going for. I wanted something that looked very modern on the outside, with the white and a lot of the windows, but more a like old-fashioned inside. And I was thinking about what kind of family would live here, and I came up with a family that I like so much that I actually want to create them and make an entire Let's Play around them. So this is supposed to be a summer home. So the idea for this Let's Play, which will be hopefully going for at least an entire year, is that I want to create a new family with a new story every single season. So this is the summer season, and then I will have another family when fall or autumn. I don't know where you live, so one of those. Doesn't really matter to me. That's a problem I have with English. I'm Dutch, so I don't have a specific preference for American or like British, Irish, Scottish, Australian. I don't have a preference, so I just sort of mix it. And sometimes it sounds kind of weird because in one sentence I say can't, and then in another sentence I say can't. I don't know. I can't really choose which one I want. So for downstairs I had a specific plan in mind because I did have the floor plan, and that specified where certain rooms should be, like the dining room and the kitchen, the living room and the bedrooms, all of that. Every single room had a purpose, so I needed to stick to that. But upstairs I didn't have a plan, so I just created a random floor plan which looked nice to me. Sort of had in mind that I wanted a children's room, another like normal bedroom. It turned out that I kind of went with a teen room in the end, but it was supposed to be just another bedroom. Whoever wants to sleep in there can sleep in there. But for the story I'm creating, it's going to be a teen room. But I will get to that when I build that room. And I wanted a like study room with bookcases and desks and computers and all of that. And I wanted a large hallway and another storage room. So I kind of had that in mind when I made the floor plan. And now I'm making the kitchen, and I really wanted to stick with the classic feel. I don't know why I did that. It just sort of felt right to me. I'm still not sure how I came up with that. And I was playing around with the flooring and the wallpaper. I wanted a different wallpaper and flooring in that area just to make it look more like a kitchen, but it turned out to not look right for some reason. So I actually just stuck with the same flooring and wallpaper as the rest of the house. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if that is more common in different houses. At least we have the same, in my house we have the same like walls, but we have a different floor. Like we have a stone floor instead of a wooden floor. But I don't know, it didn't look good, so I just changed it. So I was just working on the master bedroom. It's specified as the master bedroom in the floor plan. I want to say in the build, but in the floor plan. And that room is looks very classic to me. Very classic, very old-fashioned. And this is where I sort of started to get the idea for the family. So first of all, I thought it would be a summer home because it has an American style outside in an area in Windenburg, which is supposed to be Europe. So that's interesting. So I thought it would be owned by a family that actually came from America and used this as their vacation home every single year. And that room was so classic, I felt like it would be like a full family. Grandparents would live here. And that's when I came up with the conflicting idea of the modern outside and the classic inside. Maybe it's a family with grandparents, their daughter, and her daughters. Lots of daughters. And she likes a more modern feel, and this house is actually built for her. Well, it's not necessarily built for her, but the idea is that when she grows up and her parents die, this house will belong to her. So they picked it out together, they built it together, but the inside was decorated by her grandma. So that's why it feels so old-fashioned and classic, at least to me. And so the master bedroom is her grandparents' room, and the small bedroom in the corner there is her room. And upstairs there is a bigger room, which will be a teen room and a children room. So she has 3 daughters, a teen and 2 children. And I think those are twins. Yeah, those are twins. I just came up with that idea, but now they're twins. I'm still working it out actually, so if it sounds unsteady, that's why. And the teen room is actually the biggest room in the house. So what I had in mind is that she got divorced, and it was pretty bad. It wasn't a fun time. So her grandparents were like, you know what, why not just come over to, it's almost summer, why not come over to our vacation home in Europe, get away from everything. But her daughter wasn't so happy with that, her teen daughter. And she needed a little bit more convincing. So the grandparents were like, you know what, we will give this house a little makeover, and you can sleep in the biggest room. You'll have your own desk and computer. You'll be in Europe. Lots of cute boys there. Don't think her grandparents said that, but maybe her mom did. And that convinced her to come. So she has the biggest room in the house. I don't know if you can see it, but it's in one of the corners upstairs, like above the dining area. So that's sort of the story for the family that is going to live here. I'm very excited. I really love the idea of having a new family every single season. So this is the summer season, obviously, because they're here in the summer. And there's a couple of problems that come along with that. First of all, there's not really you can't let your children be on vacation for 6 weeks. My summer vacation when I was in school were 6 weeks. So I feel like they're here for 6 weeks, but I think in America it's a lot more. So they're here for maybe like a couple of months or 3 months or something like that. You know, they're here for a pretty long time, but they're still in school. So I think there's 2 reasons to that. Reason 1, her children actually didn't do that well in school, because obviously the divorce was happening and all of that, so I feel like he wouldn't be very focused on school, so they had to go to summer school, which is a thing in America but not really in Europe. And I think they sort of reasoned with their school and was like, okay, I really want to go to Europe, and they can go to a summer type like course sort of thing there, and they can learn about more cultures and all of that, so it will be very beneficial for them, and maybe we can work something out. So they are going to school, but I'm seeing it more as a summer school thing. And she is going to work, but I think it's more like a small job. Maybe she doesn't she has a catering thing, or maybe she's a painter or whatever she wants to do. She has like a small job here. Maybe she works in like a local cafe or something, just to get out there, just to do something. Maybe get out of the house. I feel like if you're, I don't know, how old would she be, like 30 or something, you wouldn't want to be around your parents for 3 months, like every single day, especially because, you know, there is a bit of drama in that family. If you see the styles, how different they are. I feel like the parents are very old-fashioned. She is more modern. So I don't know if they completely agree with the divorce too. Oh, it stopped working. What is happening? Oh, okay. There's just a pause. I was apparently not working on the build anymore. And I want to include a lot of paintings too, because to me, I mean, first of all, there's a lot of empty wall space. It could be covered up by paintings, and I feel like it fits in with the whole classic, traditional, old-fashioned style. So I have a lot of old-looking paintings, maybe a couple of expensive paintings, because I feel like her grandparents do have a lot of money if they can make a mansion in Europe for like a couple of months a year to go to. So at this point, I only needed to do the decoration downstairs. The main furniture was already in, so all that's left to do after that is the upstairs. And I guess some of the balconies and porches need some work too. Some places to sit outside. And obviously my favorite part, sarcasm, the garden. Oh, I had trouble doing the garden because... So first of all, it's a really big garden, and I never know how to fill up those spaces. If anyone, I was debating between anyone and anybody. If someone, I was showing my dad the Ghibli size of objects there, so that's why the painting was suddenly bigger than the house. If anybody was wondering, I'm sorry. I could cut that out, but I think it's funny. So first of all, the garden is very big and I don't know how to fill up those spaces. If anybody has any tips, that's what I wanted to say. Please let me know. I need it. Seriously, guys, I need it. I think I'm pretty good at doing interior. Obviously, I don't really need to worry about the floor plan here because that I cheated my way out of that by using an existing floor plan. I mean, the idea to this actually just came up because I'm not very good at making interesting floor plans. And I feel like in The Sims, people make more interesting floor plans than you would have in real life. In real life, it's more practical, but I really like the idea of using existing floor plans and trying to make a house around it. First of all, because I wouldn't have to make up one myself. And I also I like to look at houses, and I like to make floor plans and think about what I would like in a house and all of that. So getting to build my own house, I guess that's more a Sims thing, is really cool. And getting to make houses that would actually work in real life is even more cool. Like I could actually ask someone to build this house for me if I had a lot of money, like seriously a lot of money, like this family that I'm going to move in here. I could ask someone to make this house for me. This could exist. This is possible. And that's really cool to me. So that's the reason why I started this series. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I was talking about the garden. Right, so yeah. So interior I'm pretty good at, I think. Floor plans I cheated my way out of. And gardens, I'm horrible. I never know what to do. I always put in a pool just to take up space. I always put a hedge around it just to take up space. I put in some trees and I do like the same garden thing I always do, where I take a space and just throw every single flower I can down there and sort of try to make it look cool. I don't know how to do gardens, guys. I really try with this one too. I actually did some funny things where I feel like the garden was designed by the grandparents too, and I guess by the grandmother. She's pretty intense. I will make her pretty intense. Kind of like, has anybody seen Gilmore Girls? It's kind of like their family. You have the daughter who's more modern, and then you have Emily Gilmore, who is incredible. I love her sarcasm. I love that show, by the way. It feels nostalgic to me, even though I never seen it. And then Christine from Poland Bananas Books or something like that. I always get her username mixed up. She made a video about why you should watch Gilmore Girls, and I checked it out. And it sort of feels nostalgic to me because it's very old, even though I haven't seen it when I was younger. But anyway, it's kind of like their family. Like, the grandparents are very rich and very intense and very traditional, and then you have the daughter who is more modern and more chill and doesn't have that much money, so she doesn't really like to live in all of that. But she could probably be rich if she wanted to, because she has her parents who could help her out. But anyway, so that's sort of the family. Alright, and the garden, I keep getting distracted. I kind of like it. It means I'm more natural at talking. But anyway, so the garden, I put in some of those sculptures, like the elephant, and I think there's a llama and a fountain with like it's all very neat. And then at some points there's like just flowers thrown down. And I feel like that's where that's where the daughter, like a 30-year-old. There's a lot of daughters in this house, so I can't describe them yet, and I don't have a name for them. So the 30-year-old divorced lady just decided one day, you know what, I'm going to garden now. I'm going to do the garden, and that's her space. And then there's like all these like sculptured, very nice looking elephants and all of that. I think it's funny. But yeah, I tried to fill up the space. I don't think it looks bad. I think a lot of people in the Sims community can do a lot better than me. So yeah, if you do want to make your own version of this, please do. I would love to see it. Send me a link. That would be cool. I like to see what people would do with this. Please be better than me. Like seriously, I would love to see like a version of this house that has like an incredible garden. Someone who's very, very good at doing the whole scenery thing. I would really like to see that. Sort of my house, my idea of it. But then if someone actually did a garden that looked good. And not like mine. I'm really selling this, aren't I? I'm really encouraging you to keep watching. No, but you should, because I'm funny, and well, I think I'm funny, and I'm trying to sell it now, but I don't think it's working. I mean, I'll keep doing this voiceover. So if you stayed watching until now, I'm guessing you kind of like it. So I'm keeping up with this voiceover thing, and we can all laugh at how horrible I am at doing a garden. It will be a fun time. So, you know, keep watching. So when I do voiceovers, I sometimes take a break. I quit the recording and I do something else, or I just take a breath or something. And most of the time it's planned, but this time it wasn't, because my brother walked in and said, Mariette, quick, there's a Bulbasaur on the street. Yes, Pokemon Go. I just downloaded it like a couple of hours ago. I got a Pikachu as a starter Pokemon. You get 3 options, but when you walk away from them, Pikachu appears at some point. If you walk away for, I don't know, maybe like 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, a couple of times, at some point Pikachu appears. So I caught Pikachu, and it's actually kind of fun. I mean, I know there's a lot of hype around it and everybody is doing it, and I don't even know if you want to hear this, you should probably already playing it, because I mean, everybody is. And I've avoided it for a really long time. I'm not sure why. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to get addicted to something and all of that. But anyway, I did it anyway today, and it's actually kind of fun, especially like the camera thing and seeing the Pokemon on the street. And when I was younger, I actually used to watch Pokemon. So we had there's a spider on my microphone. Okay, let's get that away. It's very small, so I'm pretending I'm not scared of spiders. Okay, well, anyway. What I was saying is, when I was younger, we had a TV in the dining room, a small one, like one of those very big but small ones you had when you were younger, maybe, because there were many like fancy TVs yet. I feel old now. I'm only 18, but I feel old. But anyway, we could decide what we wanted to watch while we were eating breakfast or dinner or whatever. And the only show we could actually, well, one of the only shows we could actually decide on together was Pokemon. So I watched that. When I was younger, I also had a Game Boy and all of that, so I played Pokemon. I couldn't finish it because I always got stuck in the underground bits, and I wouldn't get past it, and I would get lost, and I just stopped playing because it was too difficult. But anyway, you know, Pokemon is kind of nostalgic for me, talking about nostalgia in this video apparently. So I mean, it's fun. When you were younger, you always dreamed of it. I mean, everybody did. Actually getting to catch Pokemon, and now technology has developed so far that we can actually sort of catch Pokemon in real life, and that's pretty cool. I mean, you can't deny that this is pretty cool. So you just saw me finishing up the upstairs area. Like I said, there's a teen room, which is very big and like sort of a dream teen room. Like that's the kind of room I wanted when I was younger. Well, I'm not sure if, like a couple of years ago, that's the sort of room I would have loved to have. And I finished up the other children room. That's more like fun, funky colors, lots of purple and pink. I don't know, it seems fitting for 2 girls. I feel like all of them really like pink. Like the teen loves pink and they love pink too, so I wanted to incorporate that too. And then I went onto the balconies and the porch, the dining table on one of the porch and the barbecue. I talked about this earlier. And now I'm working on the garden. So guys, first of all, I went to the back. There was this little space, and I liked the idea of having like a closed off, more of like a vegetable garden, I guess. And here I'm doing the thing I always do, where I make a border around something and just throw in flowers. And if you're confused in a little bit why there are flowers in there and you haven't seen me put them in necessarily, that's because I cut it out. Because I actually decided to remove all of the flowers in there because it looked too messy, and I feel like this house is more structured. And okay, you see it now. Those are the flowers that I threw in. And also, the flowers are really low quality. They disappear when I move away from the house and all of that, but that's mostly because I have my settings on really low because I play on a MacBook, and my MacBook can't really take a very high quality. If I put it above anything higher than medium, it actually crashes. It won't start up. It just doesn't work. And if I put it on medium, which is the highest I can go, it actually is so laggy. It's not even fun to look at anymore. I mean, I can take it for myself, but when I'm filming and I'm doing Let's Plays, it's just not fun to look at. So I moved it back to the low settings. So I'm very sorry if that bothers you. It sort of bothers me too, but I just kind of have to live with it. Maybe one day I will get a good gaming laptop or an actual PC or something. So what inspired me to move all the flowers in the other parts, what I'm doing now, is that little part around the window, because I really like these like bushes with yellow flowers. I thought they looked very like nice and organized, and they're very round, like someone actually put a lot of time in making them look good. And that's kind of what I wanted to create with this garden, like to have an actual gardener who shapes all of the bushes and sculptures and all of that, and like one of those that has the like little scissors and just goes around making sure everything is perfect. I feel like her grandparents are the sort of people that do that. I don't know why. So I wanted it to look like that, and I also put in the bubble tree. Okay, that didn't work at all. I don't know why I did that. I wanted to have trees that looked like the trees around it, so I was putting in a lot of them and seeing if I could find which one looked the best. I put in that one, the bubble tree. I like that one. I don't know why, but it also looks structured, like someone actually put a lot of effort in making that look like that. So I guess that's sort of the feeling I went with this garden, with this entire house actually. Everything needs to like have its own place and be very structured. It's not very messy. Normally I do put in some clutter around the place, but this time I didn't because I actually wanted it to look very nice. And I combined the two trees here, the more straight one and the more around everywhere, just arms of the trees going everywhere, because it would look more full that way. And that's really like the main thing there is this tree. And then again I put the rocks around the pool and around that tree, just sort of create its own area. And I like putting rocks around pools because it makes it look more natural, I guess, like it's more of a lake than it is a pool, and I just like the way it looks. So there I didn't actually ended up putting in the bubble tree. I ended up putting in the elephant sculpture that I really like for some reason. I just think it's funny, especially with those like rose, they're sort of mini trees, because if I put it looks like he is stepping over the mini trees, and I just like that idea that this elephant just really wanted to take a swim in the pool and is now walking towards the pool and ready to dive in. I just really like that idea. I think it's silly, but I like it. I feel like the 30-year-old still don't have a name for her. I feel like she would be very silly too. And I guess that's because it's sort of inspired by the Gilmore Girls, because Lorelai Gilmore is also very silly. Oh, guys. I'm silly too, I guess. I mean, if that amuses me. Yeah. So, I guess this garden was pretty good for me because I didn't have to put in a lot. If I wanted to make it look more clean and less cluttered, it didn't necessarily have to have everything filled up. I mean, it looks okay. I just think that most people can do better. And that sort of bugs me with gardens. And I always procrastinate doing them because I feel like I can do better and that it doesn't turn out the way I want it to turn out. So, bless my soul, for the day I'm attempting like fairy tale houses. Which I am doing, by the way. If you haven't seen my fairy tale series, I did a dragon house build and a dragon created sim. And I'm doing fairies and mermaids. I think I'm doing mermaids next because I feel like that would be on water, and so I can avoid the gardening thing for a little bit longer. And the dragons, I don't think, I mean, it doesn't seem logical for me for dragons to have a bunch of trees around their house. It's more like a desert sort of situation in my eyes, so I could avoid it there too. Yes, I'm actually picking out things so I can avoid doing gardens. I hate gardens. It's like my worst nightmare, you know. Nightmare. Oh, I said that half Dutch, half English. My god. Okay, so there's like advantages of doing the whole I'm talking really fast and more natural, but there's always disadvantages that I mess up a lot more. And I prefer the natural. So I think the last thing I'm putting in is this ship for the children. Because I felt like, you know, the grandparents wouldn't forget them. And I'm putting in this path, but then this video will be over. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Sorry that you have to keep up with my messy head that keeps forgetting what I'm talking about, but I will see you soon. Goodbye!